Oh, what did it do?
I don't know what that was, but we're recording, so I don't know. It was some setting thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. We didn't do. You might have just grazed over the top and hit one of these other buttons, because those are touchscreen buttons. But that's okay. We're recording. Doesn't matter. So, welcome to Storytelling on the Plains. I got a couple of books in the mail over the past couple of weeks, and I forgot to bring them to show them to you. They were put out by the Chadron Historical Committee, something in 1985, 88. And one of them is the, I forget the exact title, but it's famous Native Americans of Northwest Nebraska. So just the folks that were in Northwest Nebraska. So Crazy Horse is in there, Sitting Bull, not Sitting Bull. Yes, no. No, not Sitting Bull.
Yes,
Red
no.
Cloud.
Red Cloud.
I'm
Yes,
getting
no,
the two
no,
of them
yes,
mixed
maybe.
up. I'm like,
I do not. I don't
Yeah.
know all that well.
there are a couple of names in there that I was not familiar with, and I was reading through it, and I was like, oh, we should do some episodes, because we do episodes on individual people out here. So, so that was interesting, and then I think that one was like book 1, so I went looking to see if there were others. The only one I could find was a book 2, and then it was Tribes of Northwest Nebraska, and that just arrived yesterday. And they're just small booklets.
Oh, okay.
And one of them has a sticker on the back. It was originally sold for $3, and I bought one for $8, and the other one was $15. Considering they were just made for probably up in Chadron, it's one of the few times that Amazon was correct in a suggestion to me. And
I really, really love, and you can find them almost anywhere in America now. I don't know the author or the authors that do it, because they're mostly pictures.
okay.
And the books are almost entirely pictures. I think I have one of Tarrytown
Oh,
and maybe Scotts Bluff. And I think I had some of the Black Hills too. And they're just pictures, mostly the old black and white pictures, and they'll have little descriptors about what you're looking at.
yes.
And
It's like some
everything.
publisher does everything, because I
Everything
have
from like Chicago to New York,
Yeah,
you can
my-
go everywhere. And
my
find-
hometown in New York over on my bookcase. I have one from my hometown.
Yeah, and the same thing. They're not like thick. They're just like little.
Yeah.
Not like that big.
And they have stronger binders. The ones you're talking about, not binders. What?
The spine.
Spine. Thank you. Oh my God, words don't work for me today. They have stronger spines. These ones that I got were stapled,
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
but they are roughly about that thick. And so I'm like, oh, these are really neat little things. I was trying to think when we could do those, and we can do those whenever. We can either do a theme and go through the whole book, or we can just do them randomly, whenever.
Absolutely.
I have come to the decision, or I guess conclusion, that I'm kind of terrified to do Crazy Horse, because I'm a white person, and it's always going to be from a white person perspective, and 2, there are a lot of books out there about him. And so I
Don't
thought,
feel like you're gonna do it justice.
yeah, and so literally I've read 4 or 5 books about Crazy Horse, and I keep going back to Joseph Marshall's book. So I've thought about just, let's do it from, and read parts from Joseph Marshall's books. And I thought about it because I've listened to other podcasts, and they do that from time to time. They'll be like, here's this book we read, and it's pretty cool, and here's a 2, 3, 4 part episode on it, and they read large portions of the book. And it's, I don't want to get into if you did Crazy Horse, I think we could do like a year of episodes on Crazy Horse. It's just, that's why it's intimidating to me, because so many people have gone into way more depth about it or about him, and it's how do you do it justice? But I'll figure that out one day. Today, we are going to talk on Storytelling on the Plains about some more spooky stories from the Native American perspective. And this story I found on the now defunct website Pyramid Mesa. And that website had so much cool information about Native Americans all over the U.S. It's, I think, 2007 or 2009 was the last time the Internet Archive updated it. And I'm just like, that's a whole wealth of information that's literally gone. If you do a web search, you're probably not going to find it. And I stumbled on it while I was doing research for this. There was a link at the bottom of a Wikipedia page to the Pyramid Mesa website via the Internet Archive. So I just started searching on their website, and they just had so much information. I couldn't figure out who owned it, to even begin to try and figure out, was it one person, was it a group? I'm not sure. But if whoever did Pyramid Mesa ever listens to our podcast, I am eternally grateful, because there was so much information on there. It was just an awesome website. It probably would need a little, if it was still in existence, it would probably need a little bit of tweaking, because it was built back when your main page could just be like a list of things, and you would click on it and go to a page with some text. There was some HTML formatting, and it reminded me of when I learned HTML and I built basic websites. But the information was awesome. So, I mean, really, you could totally update that website today with a WordPress site. It'd be very easy just to convert over. But I'm glad it was there, because I came across this story, and I apologize if I say the word wrong, because we're going to use this person's name, or I guess this monster. Not really a person. It's called Uncegila's Seventh Spot, and I think Uncegila. It's Uncegila. I think it's Uncegila. It was a monster.
You got me there.
But it was this awesome story, and it was told by George Eagle Elk in 1968 at Parmalee, South Dakota. Again, I tried to verify that, but that's what was written on the Pyramid Mesa website.
That doesn't have anything that I'm putting towards Lakota. I don't know how you pronounce that. That doesn't. I'm not by no means an expert, so that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But usually when you put up a Lakota name in front of me, I can kind of make out the sounds. And I don't know what these sounds would be. Uncegila. I don't.
Yeah. And I don't know if in Lakota it would be Unk instead of Unts. Because
usually there's some cuz and huz.
Yeah.
And there's none in here.
Yeah. So I am probably going to mispronounce this monster's name throughout the story, and I apologize for that, but it's the best I could do. And some of these stories that I got from Pyramid Mesa, they do cite, like here, that George Eagle Elk told this story in 1968 at Parmalee, South Dakota. I'm assuming it was in a book or in a video or in some short documentary, and this person just transcribed stuff. That's the best I could find to go on, and I don't think there's anything untoward going on here. It's just that's the way it was when websites were made back then and should still be made. You cite your sources. They just didn't have a link to it and maybe thought that this was enough, that, hey, this happened here. This guy said it then. So there you go. So I also want to mention the Internet Archive because they do a lot of good work. And even if you give them a couple of bucks, it helps big time. And I always go back to the story of the horrible, was it in Banda Aceh in 2007, the horrible tsunami. I was in the UK, and when I got on the plane to come back home, they were collecting money to raise money for the victims of that tsunami. And they raised millions in a week just from your spare change when you're getting on the plane. And we just happened to be flying on British Airways that time. And so I had $3-4 in change, and I just plunked it in the thing, and they raised millions in a week. I think it was something like 11-12 million in a week just of people chucking their spare change to help out. So if you've got a spare $2 or $3, the Internet Archive, and I would even say Wikipedia, are well worth to give $2 or $3. I know.
Well, right now PBS.
Yes, and PBS, yes, which I just read yesterday that PBS is it PBS or the Bob Ross estate? I can't remember which one, but they're selling some Bob Ross paintings to go to PBS because they've lost their funding, and I think that's something Bob Ross would 100% rely on. So, but
I did hear they're trying to, they are planning to bring back Reading Rainbow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Not with LeVar Burton, but this other really talented, just really awesome librarian that's done a lot of TikTok stuff.
Okay.
And he's just wonderful.
Okay.
He's going to be a really, really great replacement, even though LeVar Burton will always be the host of my Reading Rainbow for me. He always was the best, but yeah. So, nice. But I don't know now if that's going to be on PBS or if they're going to bring it back on something else.
They could also just bring it back on their PBS channel.
Could be. And
they could make money that way too.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. I also want to mention that I found a book by Jill Rubalcaba, which was published in 1995 and can be checked out electronically on the Internet Archive. It's a children's storybook with illustrations and tells this same story in a poetry format, and it's geared toward little kids. So let's get to Uncegila's Seventh Spot. And again, I'm sorry if I mispronounce names. I really hate doing that. But hopefully I got it right. Uncegila was a great water monster. Sometimes she is known as Unctehi. See, so that sounds more Lakota. Yeah. But we're going to go with her better-known name, which is Uncegila. And today on Storytelling on the Plains, we're going to learn how her bones are all that's left and how they still have power. They lie all across the Badlands of Nebraska and the Dakotas. So that's a big, huge monster if your bones are all over 3 states. When the earth was young, an evil witch was transformed into a huge snake-like monster, Uncegila. She was as long as 100 horses placed head to tail. Her body was thicker than the biggest tree trunk in the world, and her scales were of glittering mica. She had 1 curved horn coming out of her head. So you got a snake with a horn coming out of her head. Along her back ran a crest that sparkled like dancing flames, while her vast side was adorned with a row of round spots in many colors. The only way to kill Uncegila was to shoot a magic medicine arrow through the 7th spot from her head. Behind that one small circle lay her ice-cold heart made of a flashing red crystal. Many brave warriors wanted to kill Uncegila, not only to free the people from her evil doings, but also to acquire her sparkling heart. Whoever possessed it would have more power than anyone in the world. He could charm any woman he desired into his lodge and under his blanket. He could...
It always goes back to charming women. Yeah. It's like, if you're going to be a warrior, you're going to be a John Wayne kind of guy. You're going to be this, like, shoot them all up, shoot the bad guy, then get to the woman.
Yep. He could see deeply into the future. He would always find buffalo and never be hungry. So, warrior gets the woman and feeds the people.
Typical hero.
Yeah.
This actually even kind of almost has a Tolkien-esque kind of thing to it with the snake in the special spot. Mm-hmm. Very and a Tolkien-esque kind of feel to it.
Yeah, and given how old the story is, well, I don't know, because it was told by this dude in 1968. He probably heard it as a kid. Maybe Tolkien heard something similar, and who knows? Who knows? But they're still similar, Yeah, it goes back to...
That's unfortunately the problem with a lot of native folklore. It's not written down. Mm-hmm. It was told and told and told and told and then written down. So you only ever get a version of the story. Yeah. It's really, like, a lot of people can't think of this as necessarily like the actual mythology itself that was original versus the version that we have now, the telephone game. Mm-hmm. Or because, we as Americans are used to, like, Greek and Roman mythology. Mm-hmm. It's the same. It's been in books forever. Before this nation ever was brought up, we know them, we were raised by them, and they're very set in stone. So when you get a Disney adaptation of Hercules, you're automatically, if you're like me, you're starting to point out things like, hey, what about this? That's not how that was supposed to go. That's not in the story. But in this, who knows? In these kinds of stories, any adaptation is still kind of a shadow of the original. Yes. So you have to kind of take it like that. So basically, don't Disney the story. Don't be pointing fingers. Be like, this isn't right. This is who knows? Who knows if it's right? Yeah, and if it's like most stories that are like this that are passed down, mm-hmm. they also get adjusted for the audience, mm-hmm. And whatever lesson you're trying to teach, and maybe scarier in one spot and not in another. They get tweaked over time. They do, and sometimes does it have an allegory or not? That's something they usually do. Yeah, there's usually some kind of lesson in there. And I really do love Tolkien because he really does warn over and over and over again, despite how many people have just ignored him. None of his books were allegories. He said that over, and he actually warned about the dangers of being a fiction writer and writing allegories mm-hmm. into your work. So it's kind of the same thing here. It's like our allegories, they can be put in and taken out and put in, and different ones can be, put in mm-hmm. and switched through stories. So there's kind of a danger to that too. Yeah, yeah. So although so many wanted to kill Uncegila, there were obstacles. The first sight of her would blind a man. A day later, he would go mad. 2 days later, he would foam at the mouth. And on the 4th day, he would be dead. That sucks.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd more do like Medusa, man. Just turn me to stone.
Yeah, yeah. At least...
Make me suffer.
Yeah. And it was not only he who would die, but all the members of his family. So there were not many who dared to go to that great fathomless black pool, which was Uncegila's home. So you're not just risking yourself, you're going to suffer, and then your family's going to die too. 2 brave twin boys discussed their chances of killing this monster. The younger had been blinded by an accident, so that he only had empty sockets instead of eyes. Okay, that sucks. And he said, "Elder brother, who saw the light of the world a second before me, I think I can kill Uncegila. Looking at her can do me no harm, and you can lead me to her home." "But brother," said his twin, "how could you aim at the 7th spot behind Uncegila's head?" Someplace in the Pahasapa, which is the Black Hills, lives an old, ugly woman who owns arrows which never fail to hit their targets. Maybe she will give them to us.
If you want good arrows from this magical woman, maybe don't call her ugly to her face.
Yeah.
It's like, this old ugly hag here is going to give us some stuff.
And
I'm sorry, is she behind me? Crap, I didn't mean that.
And then unfortunately, throughout the story, that's her name,
The
old ugly
woman. Yeah. Interesting name, Latrine.
And I also find it kind of funny that you go blind first, so apparently he doesn't have eyes to look at her, so it doesn't trigger the rest of the things if he goes near her. You got to see her first.
You have to see her, yeah.
Yeah, and
but that's again harken back to our own mythos. That's Medusa.
Yeah,
that's the whole trick, right?
Yep.
It doesn't work if you didn't look at her face.
Yep. I was just remembering when I was a little kid and I first read about Medusa, and I really wished I had that power so I could turn the people I hated into stone.
I watched that old.
Oh, was it Clash of the Titans?
Was it Clash of the Titans, the old one where it had the hero that fights Medusa? And I mean, the whole thing is horrible because it's like the old claymation kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
I had like skeletons.
Harry Hamlin starred in Clash of the Titans. I'm just trying to remember. I haven't seen it in a long time.
It could have been the original Clash of the Titans. Yeah.
I think that was it. Yeah, and you had the skeletons coming up out of the ground.
Fighting the skeletons.
It's terrible today, but when you were a kid, you're like, this is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I was still luckily at the age where I wasn't. I was born in '88. In the early '90s, we still were kind of catching up with the CG, and I mean, and for granted, there was still a lot of amazing things that happened in my time, like Star Trek and X-Files and all that. It has some pretty cool effects, but nothing compared to today.
No. That's why if I had ever had a kid, they were going to start video gaming on the original Nintendo. You're going to start. Yep. You're going to go through the whole process so you appreciate what came beforehand. You're going to watch this terrible claymation stuff so you can appreciate the stuff today. So the two boys went off to find old ugly woman. They searched for a long time, the older brother leading his blind twin. High in the mountains, they came at last to a Wacom, a mysterious place. It was a cave under an overhanging cliff into which strange designs of mysterious animals had been scratched. This was the home of old ugly woman. She welcomed the two men. Come in, twin brothers, who wish to fight Uncegila. So they get there and she already knows who they are. Mm-hmm. Come in first of all to rest, eat, drink, and smoke. She was friendly enough, giving them sweet pemmican and dried meat, berry soup, and all those good things. Okay, I've had pemmican. I do not think it's bitter. It's not sweet.
You can make it sweet.
Can you?
Pemmican.
Okay.
Because, pemmican you make.
Yeah.
It's just suet. And if it was Lakota, it'd be buffalo suet.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Some sort of buffalo fat mixed with some nuts, berries.
Maybe it's the berries they mixed with it. Yeah. I've had it 3 times. I've had it 3 times, and every time it was really bitter, and I'm like, shit, I have to eat this again.
Well, and I think almost every culture has their own form of pemmican.
Yeah.
Throughout the world, as they were developing, because it was a hearty. It was something that you could store and you could take for long. It was kind of like hardtack and stuff like that.
And I remember when Chimney Rock was raising money to redo their visitor center. They had a fundraiser that I went to, and they had 6 or 7 different kinds of hardtack. And one lady made some hardtack with chocolate, so it was chocolate hardtack, and I had some jalapeno hardtack, but there was your traditional hardtack. It's not bad, but if that's all you're eating for several months, it would get old really quickly. But as just a little something, it wasn't that bad. You just had to put your brain into the situation of I'm going to eat this 3 times a day for like the next 2 weeks, it's going to suck. And the pemmican as well, it's not that bad. It was more bitter than or is it bitter or whatever? It was bitter to me. And if I had to eat that often, it would suck after a while. But it does sustain you and it does get you through.
And you can use pemmican as much as a dish as as an ingredient as well as a dish. So you can actually like dissolve it and make it into stuff. Dissolve it in water helps with soups. You know?
Okay. See, in soups that might help because it might spread the taste out enough that it's not so bitter.
Yeah.
But when you go to the 150th anniversary of the signing of the Laramie Treaty from 1868, and the entire family of Red Cloud is there, and they go through all the ceremonies, and they invite people to participate, and they give you some pemmican. You're not going to say no.
No.
And
you better not.
No, there was no way I was saying no, but in my brain I was like, crap, I got to eat this again. I'm sure if I grew up with it, it would be different. It's like my husband can't stand zucchini. Well, he didn't have zucchini till he came to the U.S. at age 25. So, it's just that. So she was friendly enough, giving them sweet... we already did that. Sorry, I lost my place. She had a pipe and sacred tobacco, so they smoked. Then an old ugly woman asked what they wanted, even though she already knew. "Old ugly woman," said the older twin, "we have come to ask for your magic medicine arrows. Without them we can't kill Uncegila, and that's what we most want to do." "What will you give me, brave young men, for my arrows that never fail to hit?" "Old ugly woman," they said, "take pity on us. We are poor and own nothing valuable. We know you have power enough without the arrows, and we hope that you would have a generous heart." "Well, young men, there is something you can give. I am old. It has been a very long time since I was with a young, strong, good-looking boy. Sleep with me. Give me a little pleasure once more in my old age, and you may have my medicine arrows."
Not it. You're the blind one. Ha ha. This is your idea, brother. Okay, bye. Yep. You don't even know if she's ugly. I had to tell you she was ugly because you're blind. I would have been that dick brother. It's like that. That's not even a coin toss, in my opinion. I know she's ugly.
The older twin, the one who could see, whispered to the younger, "This woman is old and wrinkled and bald, without a tooth left in her mouth. She is indeed very, very ugly. I don't think I could do it. But you're blind.
You're blind. See?
What does it matter to you how she looks?"
Dick brother. Such a dick.
You're right. I'll sacrifice myself, the blind one whispered back.
Sacrifice myself, jeez.
So the one who could see went out, while the blind one prepared to make love to ugly old woman. And as he embraced her, old ugly woman turned into a beautiful young hot girl. She told the young man... Sorry.
This is kind of a funny story now. This is turning to be just hilarious.
I told you
they got humor.
Their spooker stories have the humor going. So she told the young man, "Uncegila, my boy, it's a great thing you've done for me. Freed me from this wrinkled outer shell that a bad witch forced me to wear. Pilamaya, thank you very much." My Lakota friends tell me Pilamaya all the time, and it does mean thank you very much.
Okay.
It's Lakota. That's the actual word in Lakota.
So Pilamaya means, because I actually thought the way that you said it, I thought it was like a name for him.
Oh, no.
Or like a term of endearment.
No, it does mean thank you very much. When the other twin came back and saw the beautiful young woman, he wanted to sleep with her too. Oh, God.
No takesies, backsies.
Yeah, hey, no, man, you made me do this. I got her now. But she told him, Koshkalaka, which is young man, you wouldn't touch me when I was old and ugly. You shan't touch me now when I am young and pretty. For 4 days and nights, old ugly woman, newly turned young pretty woman.
Does she have a name?
No,
Did
no.
either of you two boys just ask her name?
Yeah.
I don't think she calls herself the old ugly woman.
Well, the boys didn't even get names, just the elder and the younger one.
True, I guess. Guess it makes it simpler when you're passing on the story. Could have added in a name.
Yeah. Oh. So, for 4 days and nights, old ugly woman, newly turned young pretty woman, purified these boys and also purified the arrows, burning sweet grass and powdered cedar leaves and fanning them. Then she said, young men, take these arrows and free the people from the evil monster. But be careful when you cut out Uncegila's heart. It's so cold that it will burn your hands right off. Make yourselves gauntlets of thick hide in order to carry it. Also, the heart will speak, asking you for 4 things. You must refuse 4 times, but after that, you must do as the heart wishes. In addition, you must share the power it will give you. Good luck, boys. And the younger twin, and to the younger twin, she said, Uncegila, one day you will see again. Then come back to me. And this is worth it. You're going to kill Uncegila and you're going to be able to see? Sweet. The twins with the elder leading the way set out to look for Uncegila. They walked for many days, almost to the end of the world. Then the one who could see found a slimy trail winding in big curves toward a huge dark lake. That must be the home of Uncegila, he said to the blind one. So he's not the younger one, he's the blind one. But still, nobody gets names. The trail leads right into the water. Now we'll sit and wait. Keep your bow and medicine arrows ready. As soon as I see the very tip of Uncegila's horn coming out of the water, I'll tell you and turn away as fast as I can. Then count slowly to 4 times 4, to allow time for the horn, the head, and the neck up to the 7th spot to rise above the surface, then shoot. And I'm not entirely sure, but among the Lakota and a lot of tribes, but I know among the Lakota, the 4 fours are important. Mm-hmm. And so that's probably why it's 4 times 4 and not 16.
Yeah, count to 16.
Yeah,
Count
yeah.
to 4.
But if you do 4 times 4, you got your 4s in there to make it.
Well, that also could be how they did numbers, because I don't know
Yeah.
if they really ever went up to how
high did they go? Yeah.
Before they just went to, you do 4 times.
Yeah.
You do 6 times, you do 6 2 times, and that's just how you count.
Yeah, that could be.
And we think, 12, but I do that. I do that with change. It's a good example. I'll count out, 100 pennies, and then you got $1. But it'd be kind of the same thing, if you
Count
had
to 10
4
times.
quarters 4 times, you got $4. But if you could just say, well, just have 4 quarters 4 times. Mm-hmm. So I could see that.
Yeah, yeah. So they waited. At last, from the bottomless lake came a swirling, bubbling, and foaming, and the tiniest tip of Uncegila's horn broke the water. She's coming up. Count and shoot well, said the elder, quickly averting his head. The blind twin counted to 4 times 4, then let fly a magic medicine arrow, and another, and another. He shot all 4 of the mysterious arrows, and one after the other they pierced the monster's side at the 7th spot.
Nice shot.
Yeah. Well, they were her magical arrows that never missed the spot.
Yeah.
Now Uncegila writhed in her death throes. The water of the lake turned to blood and boiled, overflowing and drenching the twins as they cowered on a little hill above. There was a long thrashing and rumbling and fearful noises and mighty groans until at last all was still. So the twins got drenched with hot, bloody water. It's gross. But they're heroes, I guess. Uncegila must be dead, said the older twin. I'll go and see. Old Ugly Woman turned into Young Pretty Woman, because that's now her name. Old Ugly Woman turned into Young Pretty Woman. Said that looking at the monster can't hurt people once she's dead. I don't know if I want to chance that, I'm going to send my blind brother up to make sure she's dead before I look at her to make sure she's dead. He looked. He marveled. He could hardly believe his eyes when stood before Uncegila's huge, glittering, flaming body. Then with his knife, he exposed the still beating heart of red crystal. So Uncegila's dead, and he can look at her, but her heart's still beating.
Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Don't ask questions.
Just go with the story. Don't ask questions. Yeah. Feeling the icy blast emanating from it, he put on his thick hide gauntlets and seized it. He had the sensation of strange power streaming from the crystal in his body. Even through the thick gloves he could feel its coldness, so he wrapped it in his robe before taking it to his blind brother. Then they heard a muffled sound as the heart spoke through the blanket. It said sternly, "Don't cut the horn off my head." Remembering the warning that Old Ugly Woman had given them, the elder brother at once began cutting, and with great labor managed to sever the horn at its base. If he had not, Uncegila would have come to life again. "So you cut off my horn after all, said the monster's heart. At least be so kind as to stick the tip of it into my wound, the one your arrows made in my side at the 7th spot." The twins knew the twins would not do this, and if they had, Uncegila would have come back to life. "Go and cut a piece of my body, roast it and eat it," the heart said. If they had obeyed, of course, the poison would have killed them instantly. "Take sacred tobacco and make a thin trail around the lake. You can at least do that for me," the heart said next. Had they been foolish enough to do this, all of Uncegila's many children, the smaller water monsters, would have come out of their streams and pools to kill the twins. That's the first time we're hearing that Uncegila had little tiny water monsters. "We have refused 4 times to do what the monster's heart asked. From now on, we must fulfill its request," said the younger brother. And the heart spoke again, saying, "Blind one, put some of my blood on your eyelids." And before I go any farther, remember, he didn't have anything in his eye sockets anymore. They were empty. So there's not even eyeballs in there. The older twin went down to the monster's body and scooped up a little of Uncegila's blood with his horn spoon. He smeared some of the blood on his brother's eyelids, and at once new eyes formed, and the brother could see. The twins took the crystal heart back to their camp. Following the heart's instruction, they dug a deep shaft to keep it in, and over the shaft they built a special 20-skin lodge painted with a likeness of Uncegila. Daily the heart was fed with the blood of deer and other animals, and daily it was turned to face in another direction. The heart kept inventing more ceremonies for the brothers to perform. "If you ever refuse to do what I tell you," the heart said, "not only will I deprive you of my power, but I will become a blazing ball of fire and burn you up." "It's good to have power," the younger twin said to his brother, "but too much power can become burdensome." Yet the heart made the twins powerful indeed. They could foretell the future. Their lodges were always full of meat. No woman could resist them.
Powers, huh?
Uh-huh. They were generous, feeding their people with the game that was easy for them to catch. They were made chiefs. The older one married. In fact, he took 4 wives who gave him strong sons. "Younger brother, he asked his twin. "Why haven't you taken a woman or 2 or 3 into your lodge, as a great chief should? It's not good to be alone, not to have a woman sharing one's blanket." So again, story's always going back to getting a woman. The younger twin answered, "I haven't taken wives because I think I've always been in love with old ugly woman turned young pretty woman. Y'all got to get her a better name. I don't really want anyone but her. I think I'll go back to the cave where she lives and ask her to be my wife. I was blind when she gave us the magic arrows, but you know the way. Lead me." The twins went alone to find the medicine woman. When they came to the Wakan place, which if you remember, Wakan is mysterious or mystery place, where she had lived, they could feel her power. But old ugly woman turned young pretty woman was no longer there. She had disappeared without a trace. Where the cave had once been, there was now only the smooth face of the cliff. Sadly, the brothers returned home. "There are plenty of other women you can have," said the elder, but this did not cheer his brother up.
Not any woman as ugly as that one, or as pretty.
Sometime after they had returned home, the younger twin said to the elder, "I'm tired of these great powers the monster's heart is giving us. I'm bored always finding buffalo. I'm bored always hitting the target with my arrows, unfailingly killing all the game that this power puts in my way. The thrill of the hunt is missing. I'm tired of all the good-looking girls and women, and even other men's wives who try to creep into my lodge. The pleasure of wooing is gone. Besides, my mind is still on that medicine woman, the ugly one who turned beautiful. I'm tired of having the power to see into the future. I might learn the time and manner of our deaths, and I don't want to brood over those things. I'm just tired of the power. I want to be like other men." "I'm tired of it too," said the older. "I'm tired of feeding the monster's heart and carrying out its endless wishes. But there's a simple way to rid ourselves of this unwanted power. Remember, the woman told us never to let anybody else set eyes on the heart, or the power would be taken from us." At once the brothers called out to all the people around them, "Ho! Haven't you always wondered what we keep in this special teepee? The teepee we never allowed you to go in? Come in, we'll show you the big secret." They invited the whole crowd inside and let them look into the deep shaft at Uncegila's cold red crystal heart. And when all eyes were on it, this heart screamed loudly and burst into a blinding ball of fire, consuming itself so that only ashes remained, while from the bottom of the hole came the noise of some big animal thrashing in the water. And that was the end of it. "I feel much better now," said the younger to the older twin, "and I feel as if a heavy load had been taken off me," his brother said. So these two lived happily, taking good and bad as it came, as most men do. And as far as I know...
So what's the allegory to that story?
I guess don't wish... careful of what you wish for?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a story. That's one of those stories I don't really think has much sense to its ending.
No,
if you didn't want the powers, why kill the snake to begin with? I mean, if you didn't go anywhere near it, like she wasn't actively hunting for anybody. I mean, people had to go bother her for her to kill him. Otherwise, she's just a snake minding her own business.
Yeah.
Instead, you got to go all the way out of your way to kill him, get all these powers, and you don't even want the powers.
Yeah, and after a while, you're like, yeah, I don't want these powers. Why do I have these powers? That's what I took from it, was be careful what you wish for, because you might just get what you want, and then you realize that it's not really good.
But did they want... They didn't know what the powers were until they were given to them.
Yeah, they just wanted to kill the monster.
Did they even want the power? Well, I guess they kind of did, because the old ugly woman hinted towards it. Mm-hmm. That they're going to get it, so I guess they'd want it.
But they still, in the beginning, they wanted to kill the monster.
So as a part of the power deal, did he lose his vision again?
I don't think so. I think that's something that just stayed.
I think he should have lost his vision. But if you want a good one, if you want to get rid of all the powers, you have to get rid of all the powers.
Yep. And that did let you grow eyeballs back so you could see. So, I just found it ironic that someone wrote a children's book version of this, and
what's the children's version?
Exactly.
Of this? Does it include the sex part?
I think it has to leave that out. I did not read that far. I was looking at the pictures, but I think you got to leave that out.
Maybe, I don't know.
Again,
this was told to Lakota children back in the day, I'm sure. I mean, if it's good enough for them, maybe it's good enough for our kids.
Who knows?
You got to know where those babies come from, I guess.
And I was go ahead.
What, taking one for the team? Is that
yeah.
I will sacrifice myself. Got to learn about the self-sacrifice of sex.
And then how does that paint women? Sometimes you got to sleep with the ugly one.
But maybe they'll turn pretty.
Yeah.
Just maybe. So, never say no to an ugly woman. You never know. She might just turn pretty halfway through. It's like,
But that's why I found it interesting was it wasn't necessarily scary, but just that this was also a children's story. And
I wish it had a bit of a happier ending for the poor guy who didn't get this woman.
Yeah, well,
then got bored of all the other women.
Yeah, and you know what? I would bet if Disney made this movie, they would write an ending where once the heart exploded, burned up, and became a pile of ashes, I'm willing to bet Disney would have the woman appear, and then the younger one that was blind got to live happily ever after with her. That I'm willing to bet that's how Disney would do it.
Or if they were more clever, Uncegila would have been the old ugly woman. They would have been one and the same thing.
Yeah.
Because notice when he died, she disappeared.
Yeah.
So, and you got the powers, and maybe her wanting to kill Uncegila is like her evil self. Maybe that's her ugly self. Maybe that's the part that imprisoned her on Earth. There's all sorts of things you could spin off onto that.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a
This is what happens when you're a fan of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So that's our story for this week. Come back next week and the week after. We got a couple more. Like I said, the Lakota stories that I was able to find are a little different from our spooky stories. There's usually a lesson, which is why I'm reading the whole story, as opposed to, oh my God, don't look at the ghost ship over there just west of Torrington because someone you love will die. I'm also not good at changing my voice when I read stories, so everybody sounds the same. I guess that would be my name, woman who can't read in different voices. Whatever. I'm terrible. I can't even make crap up. Yeah. Oh, I'm a terrible person. Anyway, that's it for us this time. I'm Irene.
And I'm Connor.
And this is Storytelling on the Plains.